A 13-year-old girl was deceived by her neighbor, but he never expected that.
Hello everyone, enjoy these relaxing moments while you watch.
In the poor neighborhood, inside apartment 3B, 13-year-old Lucy was lying on her stomach on the bed, holding an old gaming console in her hands, her feet swinging in rhythm with the music coming from her headphones. "Mom's working the night shift again?" Lucy called out, her eyes still fixed on the screen. "Yeah, make sure you lock the door carefully. Don't go opening it just because someone knocks," her mother, Mrs. Mary, replied from the kitchen. "And if you get bored, you can go over to Uncle Julian's and play games. He said he just got a new PS5. Lucy shrugged, replying without much enthusiasm, "I like my console better. His games are all adult games. I don't even understand them." "Come on, don't be rude," her mom said with a frown, stepping out of the kitchen with her big nursing bag slung over her shoulder. "Uncle Julian is a good man. He's helped us so many times fixing the lights, replacing outlets, even bringing you cookies." Lucy stayed quiet. She didn't know what to say, especially after what happened a few weeks ago when she had tried to tell her mom about the thing that made her heart race every time she passed the hallway across from their apartment. "One time, he looked at me really weird, Mom." Right after I got out of the shower, Lucy had stammered back then. But her mom had cut her off. "Stop it, don't imagine nonsense. You're just being too sensitive. He's a decent man." The door slammed shut as Mrs. Mary left, leaving behind a strange silence in the apartment. Lucy looked through the small window facing the hallway. Directly across was apartment 3C, home of the man everyone in the neighborhood called the nice uncle. Julian, 52, was a thin man with more gray hair than black, always wearing a turtleneck sweater no matter the weather. He lived alone. No one knew if he had a wife or kids, but he was very active in the neighborhood. If anyone had a broken washing machine, electrical issues, or a leaky pipe, all they had to do was call, and Julian would show up, always with his toolbox and a gentle smile. "Good morning, Lucy," he used to greet her every morning, holding a bag of pastries. "I just made some chocolate chip cookies. Do you want some?" At first, Lucy had liked him. He brought food and even gave her an old comic book collection from his younger days. "This girl is really smart," he told her mom. "She's like a precious gem, just needs someone to polish her." One time, when Lucy's mom had an unexpected shift, Julian knocked on the door and smiled, "Why don't you come over and hang out for a bit? I've got a new game. It's not violent or scary, I promise." Lucy walked over hesitantly, but still obeyed. His apartment was unusually clean. On the shelves were religious statues, a pot of purple orchids, and a TV 3 times bigger than theirs. Julian handed her a controller and smiled, "Go ahead, don't be shy. Your mom used to come over here when she was your age too." "Really?" Lucy asked, surprised. "Yeah, she was 15 back then. Her family was poor, just like now, but she was smart and strong. Just like you. You remind me a lot of her." He spoke like he'd known her mom forever, maybe even better than Lucy did herself. She forced a smile and turned her eyes back to the screen. From that day on, Julian started inviting Lucy over more and more. Each time with a perfectly reasonable excuse: "I need someone to test a new game, I made something sweet I want you to try," or simply, "I'm lonely and need someone to talk to." And Mary, who trusted the nice uncle completely, always smiled and said, "Go ahead, but remember to thank him." One Saturday afternoon, while Lucy was playing games in her own living room, the doorbell rang. It was Mrs. Clare from downstairs, holding a grocery bag. "Lucy, your mom asked me to bring you some food. I just got back from the market," she said, placing the bag on the table. "Make sure you eat properly, okay? Your mom's working really hard." Lucy politely thanked her and walked her to the door. She watched as the woman disappeared down the stairs, feeling a brief warmth in her heart. But that happiness didn't last long. That night, Julian knocked again. This time, he brought something to fix the outlet in the bathroom. Your mom asked me to check the outlet, said it's been shorting out the past few days, he said, placing his toolkit down. Can I come in for a minute? Lucy nodded, though she felt a little uneasy inside. He went into the bathroom and fiddled around for about 15 minutes. She heard tools clicking and clacking, and then he called out, "All done. Doesn't look too serious, but I'll come by again this weekend to check." Lucy nodded and thanked him, walking him to the door. She didn't know that from that moment, everything would begin to change. One afternoon after school, Lucy opened her phone and saw a message from an unknown number. Lucy. This picture looked familiar. Attached was a blurry photo of her. Just as she had stepped out of the bathroom, wrapped in a towel, her eyes wide in shock, staring into the void. Lucy's heart pounded. She gasped, her fingers trembling. "If you don't want your whole class to see this, do what I say." She threw the phone onto the bed, clutching her head, her heart racing as if it would explode. Cold sweat ran down her spine. Right then, the phone rang. It was Julian. "Are you okay, sweetheart?" His voice was gentle. "You seem a bit down. Did something happen?" Lucy didn't answer. She just stared at the photo, her hand clenched tightly around the phone as if she wanted to crush it. She locked her bedroom door and pulled the curtains shut. She lay on the bed, phone still in her hand. The message and photo haunted her, triggering a silent wave of panic in her chest. "What am I supposed to do now?" she asked herself, lips trembling. Just then, the phone buzzed again. A new message appeared. "If you want everything to stay quiet, do as I say. This is our secret game." Lucy choked back a sob, her vision blurred. Her heart pounded like it wanted to escape her chest. The next day, during recess, Lucy sat alone in a corner of the schoolyard. Her classmates laughed and played, but she kept staring at her phone like it held a death sentence. Her childhood friend Sophie came over. "Lucy, are you okay? I've been texting you for days, but you never respond." Sophie tilted her head, worried. "Are you avoiding me?" Lucy gave a faint smile. "No, just tired, that's all." Sophie sat beside her. "You can tell me anything. You're my best friend, remember?" Lucy lowered her gaze and said nothing. Inside, she screamed, wanting to tell everything. But then she pictured Sophie seeing the photo, and the whole class, the teachers. No, she couldn't bear the humiliation. "It's nothing," she said quietly, standing up. "I just need to go to the bathroom." Sophie watched her go, her eyes heavy with concern. That night, after her mom had left for work, Lucy opened her phone. A new message had arrived. "You were a good girl today. You'll get a reward. Starting tomorrow, at 9 p.m. every night, we'll play a new game." Lucy typed back, her fingers shaking. "What do you want?" The reply came quickly. "Just do what I say. First, go into the bathroom, bring your phone, and start a video call. I'll guide you. I promise it won't hurt. This is the kind of love adults share, you understand, don't you?" She threw the phone onto the bed and burst into tears, the words stabbing into her like knives. The next night, Lucy was right on time. She walked into the bathroom and locked the door. She held her phone and started the video call. Julian's face appeared, his eyes soft in a way that sent shivers down her spine. "Hello, my little princess," he whispered. "You're so beautiful. Like an angel." Lucy stood still, both hands clutching the towel wrapped around her body. "Don't worry. I won't make you do anything painful. Just a few little games. You'll see, it'll be fun." "I don't want to," she whispered, trembling. "But you promised, remember? We have a secret. And if you don't keep it, I won't either." Lucy bit her lip, tears streaming down her face. She felt trapped in an invisible cage. Every word he said locked it tighter. After the game, she shut off the phone and sat on the bathroom floor. Her body was shaking uncontrollably. Her hands clawed at her skin until it bled. Since that day, Lucy began to change drastically. She was no longer energetic, no longer spoke to anyone. She just stared at the ground. In class, she couldn't concentrate, and her grades dropped sharply. Mr. Mitchell, her kind-hearted English teacher, called her in for a talk. "Lucy, is something wrong? You used to do so well, but lately," he asked gently. I'm just a little tired," she said, looking away. "Is something going on at home? Do you need me to help with anything?" Lucy shook her head. She was afraid anyone who tried to help might be dragged into the swamp that was swallowing her whole. At home, Mrs. Mary had also begun to lose her patience. "What's wrong with you, Lucy? You're like a zombie at school and completely withdrawn at home. I work all night, come home exhausted, and still have to deal with this attitude." Lucy stayed silent. "When I speak to you, you answer. Nothing's wrong." Lucy snapped, her eyes red. Mary exploded. "What kind of attitude is that? Is that how you talk to your mother? I hate you," she screamed, then ran into her room and slammed the door shut. Mary stood frozen. She didn't recognize her once sweet daughter anymore. That night, Lucy was forced to play a new game, again this time even more horrific. He told her to take off her childish underwear and describe it in detail, then pretend she was a character from her favorite comic. "You were such a good girl," his voice echoed, full of sick satisfaction. "You made me so happy. You see, this is how grown-ups show love." Lucy shuddered. She felt disgusted, as if every cell in her body was rotting from within. The next morning, she went to school with a long scratch on her arm, a wound she had made with her own fingernails after the horror of the previous night. Sophie noticed it immediately and was alarmed. "Lucy! What happened to you?" "Nothing. Your arm is bleeding. I'm going to get the teacher." "No." Lucy grabbed Sophie's hand. "I did it myself." Sophie's eyes widened. "Why would you?" "Lucy, tell me the truth. What's going on?" Lucy burst into tears. But then, she shook her head. "I can't." Sophie pulled her into a hug and whispered, "I don't know what's happening, but if you ever need me, I'm here. Always remember that." Lucy nodded weakly. It was the first time she felt even a tiny flicker of warmth in a long time. That weekend, during dinner, Mary tried to talk. "Lucy, I'm sorry for yelling at you the other day. I was just worried." Lucy nodded silently. Mary continued, "How about we go out this weekend? I'll take the day off. We can go to the park, eat some ice cream just like we used to." Lucy shook her head. "I don't want to go out." "Are you okay?" Mary asked, concern in her voice. "Has someone done something to you?" Lucy looked up and met her mother's eyes, but then quickly looked down. "No. No one has." That night, Julian texted again. "What did you tell your mom? Be careful. I know everything." Lucy trembled. Only then did she realize, maybe, inside her own home, something was watching her. She went room to room, searching. Then, when she looked up at the small shelf in the bathroom, she noticed a strange scratch. She brought a chair, climbed up, and gently pulled away the fake tile. Inside was a small black camera, its red light blinking. Lucy collapsed onto the floor, her face pale as death. She couldn't breathe. Terror rose like a crashing wave, drowning everything in its path. She screamed. A loud, guttural scream. She curled up in a corner of the bathroom, her body tensed as if even the darkness itself was trying to devour her. That tiny camera, once just a lifeless object, now felt like a demonic eye, watching her every move. Every time she closed her eyes, she imagined what Julian had seen, what he had recorded, what he had used to manipulate her. She stumbled out of the bathroom, slammed the door shut. The panic hadn't faded, her heart pounded like hammers beating in her chest. That night, she didn't sleep. She just sat on the bed, hugging her pillow, eyes blank. The next day at school, Lucy arrived looking pale and exhausted. Mr. Mitchell called her up to read, but she just stood there in silence. "Lucy," he called again. Still no response. The class started murmuring. Sophie looked at Lucy, deeply worried. Eventually, Mr. Mitchell softened his voice, "It's okay. You can sit down." Lucy returned to her seat, gripping the edge of her desk so tightly her knuckles turned white. At recess, Sophie sat down next to her. "Lucy, I'm really worried. You've changed so much. I can't just ignore it anymore." Lucy shook her head, eyes still staring at the ground. "I'm just tired." "No. This isn't just being tired. You've clearly lost weight, you've got dark circles under your eyes, and you're irritable. People are saying you're depressed." Lucy turned her face away. "Let them say what they want." Sophie grew frustrated. "I'm not just some random person. I'm your best friend." Lucy clenched the strap of her backpack, then stood up. "I'm sorry. I don't want to talk anymore." She walked away, leaving Sophie angry and helpless. The next day, after school, a group of students including Ethan and Carly were chatting right in front of Lucy. "Hey, did you see how creepy Lucy's been lately? Like a starving ghost. She's probably cursed or something. The 2B kids say she's been scratching herself." Lucy heard everything. She turned away, biting her lip until it bled. Sophie ran over. "Shut up. If you don't know anything, don't talk crap." Ethan smirked. "I'm just saying this because I care. Wouldn't want to come to school one day and find out she jumped off the roof." Slap. Sophie struck him across the face. "Shut your mouth." The whole schoolyard went silent. Ethan stood stunned, holding his cheek. Sophie turned to Lucy, panting, "I can't take this anymore. No matter how many times you push me away, I'm still here, okay?" Lucy looked at Sophie, eyes wide in surprise, then teary. But she said nothing, just quietly turned and walked away. That night, Lucy didn't cry anymore. She sat there scratching at her arm until it bled. The red marks on her skin felt like the only way to prove she was still alive. Julian's texts kept coming. "I have a present for you tomorrow morning. A pink nightgown with white lace, your size. I think you'll like it." Lucy threw her phone on the floor and screamed in helpless rage. She felt disgusted with herself. Every time she obeyed him, it felt like another part of her died. But if she didn't, that photo, those videos. The next morning, as she opened the door to leave for school, she saw a small bag tied with a pink ribbon placed in front of her door. She looked around the hallway, no one. She opened it. Just like Julian said, a child-sized nightgown, pink with white lace. Lucy threw the gift into the trash can, her face expressionless. During class that day, she felt dizzy, her face pale. Mr. Mitchell called for the school nurse. She was taken to the school infirmary. The staff nurse, Mrs. Bethany, gently asked, "Lucy, have you eaten anything today?" She shook her head. "You've lost a lot of weight lately. Is there anyone at home who cooks for you?" "I cook for myself." "Who do you live with?" "With my mom." "And, anyone else?" Lucy looked up, hesitated for a moment, then shook her head, "No one." Bethany stared at the girl for a long while, then sighed, "If you ever need someone to talk to, I'm always here." Lucy nodded. But inside, she knew, no one could save her. That night, Mary unexpectedly came home earlier than usual. She found Lucy sitting on the balcony, knees hugged to her chest, the wind blowing through her tangled hair. "Lucy. I made some noodles, come have a bit." "I'm not hungry." You need to eat to keep up your strength. You haven't eaten anything since this morning. I really am not hungry, Lucy said coldly. Mary sat down next to her. Lucy, I know you're hiding something. If you don't want to talk, I won't push. But I'm here. No matter what you say, I'll still believe you. Lucy turned her face away. A tear rolled down her cheek. Late at night, Lucy turned on her computer. She searched the phrase, "How to delete sensitive videos from the internet." The first page was filled with complex, technical articles in convoluted English. She moved on to the dark forums where strange questions were posted. One account named Claudia Nelson had once asked, "Does anyone know how to delete nudes that were leaked? I'm 13 and I'm really scared." Lucy froze. She wasn't alone. She kept scrolling. A series of accounts all belonged to young girls who had once lived in the South Bronx. Some recounted being invited over by the friendly neighbor to play games. Others mentioned seeing a tiny camera in the bathroom. Some suddenly went silent, their accounts locked. Some messaged, "I had to move right away. My mom didn't believe me." Lucy read with trembling hands. Her heart ached. Every word cut into her soul. She wasn't alone. But no one had been able to get help either. She closed her laptop and laid down on the bed. That night, she didn't cry. Something was forming inside her now, no longer fear, but hatred. Lucy sat in the dark, the dim laptop screen casting a pale light on her face. The secret forum she had just browsed still displayed the final post from a user named Solita12. "I used to live on the second floor, South Bronx. Has anyone else been through this? I can't tell my mom. Every time I mention that kind uncle, she says I'm crazy." Lucy bit her lip until it bled. "It's not just me," she whispered. "It's not just me." Her hands trembled, but she kept scrolling. More scattered posts in the private group began to appear under the keywords, South Bronx, neighbor, hidden camera, made to do weird stuff. Some descriptions sent chills down her spine. One anonymous account, Lunita03, had posted a blurry video clip, clearly from a hidden camera in a bathroom. A little girl, about 10 years old, was changing clothes. Lucy jolted, her hand covering her mouth to stop herself from screaming. It wasn't her, but it was another child. Another victim. "Julian," she whispered, her eyes wide. "It's him." She frantically wrote down the username, date of the post, and especially the upload ID string. It matched the account that had sent her the threatening photo. There was no doubt anymore. It was him. And she wasn't his only victim. The next morning, Lucy went to school with a different look in her eyes. Her face was still quiet and blank, but now there was a cold sharpness beneath the surface. Sophie was surprised when Lucy came and sat beside her on her own. "Lucy. I want to ask you something," Lucy whispered. "Do you remember a girl named Ava who was in our class last year? She transferred suddenly in the middle of the term." Sophie nodded, "Yeah. Blonde hair, pale skin, kind of shy, right?" "Right. I just saw someone online using the name Ava. But, they were posting really strange stuff. It looked like she'd been recorded without her knowing." Sophie's eyes widened. "What? Where did you see that?" Lucy hesitated. She couldn't explain everything. But she still answered, "On a private forum. I stumbled across it." Sophie nodded slowly, "Yeah, I always thought something was weird. Ava disappeared so suddenly, and no one could get in touch with her. When we asked the homeroom teacher, she just said the family moved away. But nobody knew why." Lucy clenched her fists, maybe it wasn't just a move. That night, when she got home, Lucy went online and searched the resident history of the apartment complex. She used an anonymous account and combed through old posts with titles like "Urgent Apartment Sale," "Girl with Psychological Issues," or "Family Moved After an Incident." One post from 2019 made her blood run cold. 11-year-old girl in severe panic, mother can't understand why. Apartment on the third floor, South Bronx complex. The third floor where Julian lived. Lucy documented everything. She printed it out and pinned every clue to the wall of her room like a crime investigation board. He hadn't just targeted her. He had preyed on many girls and likely others who had never dared to speak up. The next morning, Lucy boldly went to visit Ms. Laura, a neighbor on the first floor, whose daughter Jenna had lived upstairs years ago. She knocked on the door. After a moment, Ms. Laura opened it, surprised. "Lucy? You here to see Jenna? She's in high school now." "Ma'am, I just wanted to ask something. It's a little strange," Lucy said hesitantly. "Back then, did you ever notice Uncle Julian acting weird around Jenna?" Laura frowned. "Weird how, honey?" "Like, inviting her over a lot, giving her gifts, or trying to get her alone." Ms. Laura paused, then sighed. Actually, yes. He used to bring candy over and say there was a new cartoon he wanted to show her. A few times when I wasn't home, Jenna told me he came by to fix some electrical issues. I thought it was nothing." Lucy held her breath. "Did Jenna ever say anything strange?" "No, but she changed a lot afterward. Talked less, got irritable, and said she wanted to move her bedroom. She didn't want to be near the hallway window anymore. I figured it was puberty, but now that you're asking, I'm starting to get scared." Lucy returned home, heart pounding. The pieces were fitting together. He was a predator. A monster hiding behind the mask of a kind uncle. She collapsed onto her bed, pulled out her phone, and scrolled through their old messages. "Julian, you know how much I care about you, right? I want you to feel special." Lucy whispered, "Not special. Just pray." That evening, as her mother went off to work, Julian texted again. "Tomorrow I'll get you a new outfit. Do you like purple? Off-shoulder, puffed sleeves. I think you'll look beautiful in it." Lucy clenched her fists. Enough. She deleted the message, then opened a program on her computer, an AI image generator. She had seen people use it to create fake pictures. Maybe he had too. "Fine," she muttered. "Now I'll show you what a special girl really looks like." The next morning, while standing on the apartment stairwell, Lucy heard a voice. "Lucy. Do you have a minute?" It was Julian. He stood at his door, holding a bag of pastries and a small box. She took a deep breath, trying to stay calm. "I'm on my way to school, Uncle." "No problem, this'll only take a minute," he smiled, that same familiar smile, now repulsive. Lucy walked toward him, avoiding eye contact. "I bought this for you," he said, holding up the small box. "You don't have to wear it right away. But when you do, send me a photo, okay? As a keepsake." Lucy nodded mechanically. "Yes, sir." "You're such a good girl," he whispered. "You're the most special of them all." Lucy swallowed hard. "I have to go to school now." She turned away, clutching her backpack strap until her knuckles turned white. That night, she turned on her computer. She created a new account under the name A13. She used an AI-generated image of a girl with brown hair, blue eyes, and a sweet smile. She adjusted the skin tone, added freckles, shaping the character to perfectly match Julian's type. Once finished, she exhaled and coldly clicked, "Join group." Then she began typing. "Hi, is anyone there who wants to talk to me? I'm 13. Just minutes later, a familiar message popped up. "Julian 67, hello, princess. You're really pretty. Where do you live?" Lucy narrowed her eyes, her hands trembling not from fear, but from rage. "South Bronx," she typed. "I like grown-ups who are mature. Like you." Her hand trembled slightly as she hit send on her first message from the A13 account. She couldn't tell if it was fear or hatred that fueled her more. A part of her was still the terrified girl, paralyzed by threats. But the other part, the one that had read hundreds of posts from other girls, from silent victims like herself, was hardening into steel. Julian 67, you live in South Bronx? I'm there too. What a coincidence. Lucy bit her lip and replied. Neria 13, really? Then you must be a good person. My mom says there are lots of good uncles around here. Julian 67, huh. I wouldn't go that far. But if you want, I can be your friend. I know lots of fun games. She typed each word with a knot in her stomach. Neria 13, I feel sad because my mom doesn't let me use the internet. I just want to talk to grown-ups who know how to keep secrets. Less than a minute later, the reply came. Julian 67, I'm good at keeping secrets. What we talk about, only I will know. Like a secret game between just the two of us. Lucy clenched her fist, remembering every word he had once sent to her real number. It was no different. Neria 13, do you have a photo? I'm curious to see what you look like. Julian 67, I look old in pictures. You might not like it. Neria 13, that's okay. I think you type sweetly. Lucy sent a heart emoji, disgusted, but composed. She sighed and whispered to herself, don't let it slip. Make him believe this is a new victim. Then she flipped through her old conversations with him, taking notes on each type of response, each kind of message, and the times he usually texted. It all followed a clear cycle, sweet talk and promises at first, then gradual grooming, then threats and control. Now she was feeding him the exact same pattern. 3 days passed. Neria 13 and Julian 67 chatted for hours every night. Lucy even used voice-altering software to mimic a 13-year-old girl's voice in short recordings, which she sent as voice messages to earn his trust. One night, he messaged. Julian 67, you're so sweet. Most 13-year-old girls don't understand things like you do. Neria 13, so what do you want from me? Julian 67, I want to see the real you. Just one photo. Maybe of you in a nightgown, like a princess. Lucy held her breath. She knew this was a turning point. This was the same line he once used on her. She replied. Neria 13, I'm a little shy. But if you promise not to share it with anyone, I'll think about it. Julian 67, I promise. I've never shared anyone's pictures. This is our secret. Just between grown-ups. Lucy smirked. Just between grown-ups. That sentence once made her feel filthy, guilty. But now she used it as bait, a noose tightening around his neck. The next day at school during lunch, Sophie sat down beside her, setting her tray on the table. Have you eaten? Lucy nodded slightly. I'm good. Sophie studied her for a moment, then said quietly, I don't know what you're doing, but there's something different in your eyes. Lucy flinched. Different how? You're not scared like before. You look like you're fighting something. Lucy looked at Sophie, hesitating for a few seconds, then whispered, I'm not ready to tell you everything. But if one day I need you to testify, would you believe me? Sophie gripped her hand, I always believe you. That night, Julian sent a picture of a new child's dress, light pink, with lace and little flower patterns. Julian 67, I bought this for you. If you're good, I'll send it to your house. Lucy replied, pretending to be excited. Neria 13, you're so sweet. But if I send a photo, what will you do for me? Julian 67, I'll tell you grown-up secrets. About love. About the games grown-ups play with each other. Lucy exhaled and turned to her recording software. She whispered in the fake voice. Uncle. I've never done grown-up stuff before, but I want to learn. Click. She saved the audio clip, along with the chat thread. Over the next 3 days, she subtly steered their conversations, coaxing him to talk about the other, good little girls, who did what he asked, and how they loved him so much they never told anyone. Lucy recorded it all, using screen capture software, saving everything to both a USB drive and a backup Google Drive folder. Each time he revealed another disgusting secret, Lucy grew colder. She was no longer a trembling child, she was a hunter, patient and exacting. One afternoon after school, Lucy boldly walked to Julian's apartment door and knocked gently. He opened the door, surprised. "Lucy. Are you here to hang out? Your mom asked me to check the kitchen outlet again." Lucy forced a smile. "I wanted to ask you something." "Oh, come in," he said, opening the door wider. "I just made tea. There's cookies too." Lucy stepped inside, scanning everything. The apartment was as tidy as ever, with a faint scent of mint in the air. But now, every detail sickened her. "Do you have a lot of little friends?" she asked casually. Julian laughed. "Little friends? What, do you think I'm Santa Claus?" "No. I mean, like anyone else like me. Who comes over, talks with you." His eyes narrowed for a second, but quickly softened again. "You're the most special. You're the only one who understands me." Lucy nodded slowly. "I understand. Because I have a secret too. Do you want to hear it?" Julian tilted his head. "What kind of secret?" Lucy stepped closer, lowered her voice. "I made a new friend. Her name is Neria." He froze. In that instant, Lucy saw the color drain from his face, a flicker of recognition, subtle but undeniable. What are you saying?" Lucy smiled, her gaze piercing through him. "Take a guess." "A 13-year-old girl. Lives in South Bronx. Has a voice sweet like honey. Do you think you've talked to her before?" Julian stepped back. What are you talking about?" Lucy turned toward the door, calmly, "Just wondering. I need to go now. Thanks for the cookies." That night, she opened her laptop and edited a video, images of Neria 13, layered with a fake voice, combined with video call recordings of Julian speaking about children's underwear, love games, and lines like, "I like little girls who wear white socks. You can wear a short skirt, no underwear if you want." Lucy saved the video and named it, "The Truth About That Nice Uncle." Then she plugged in a USB drive and copied all the data, chats, photos, voice recordings, videos. She knew it was time to move to the final phase. Lucy sat curled up on her bed, clutching the USB stick like it was the only weapon she had left in this lonely war. The laptop screen still displayed that Neria 13 video she had just finished. Julian's sickening words echoed like blades slicing through her ears. "Wear a white lace nightgown, better with nothing underneath. I'll keep it secret. Just like last time with little Clara, no one ever found out." Lucy shuddered. The name Anna had never come up before. He had other victims, ones he remembered by name. She opened her notes and typed, "Anna, needs verification. Possibly the girl who used to live on the second floor." But this wasn't the time to chase Anna. This was the time to strike back. She opened the chat and messaged him from the Neria 13 account. "Neria 13, I have a place for us to play tonight. Very private. I want to give you a surprise." Julian 67, "What surprise, my little princess?" Neria 13, "I rented an old storage unit near the South Bronx station. No one knows. I'll wear the white dress. The kind you like." Lucy shivered as she typed those words. But she knew, only by luring him into the trap could she bring him down. Julian 67, "I'm on my way. You're such a good girl. I won't keep you waiting long." Around 7:30 p.m., the New York sky was gloomy, the cold wind slicing like knives against the skin. Lucy wore a thick coat, her cap pulled low, and in her hand, a phone hidden with a covert recording app. She stood in front of the abandoned storage unit near the old train tracks, about 4 blocks from her home. She took a deep breath, whispering, "Don't be scared. This is the moment to turn the tide." In the distance, she saw a man approaching, gray coat, a bag in his hand, his walk unmistakable. It was him. Julian. Lucy's hands trembled. Sweat formed on the phone she held. He walked closer, his voice sweet, "So you're already here." Lucy hid in the shadows, behind the door. He hadn't seen her yet. "Where are you, Neria?" he called out, eyes scanning. "I'm here now. I brought the cookies you like." He pulled from his bag a pack of cat-shaped cookies with Japanese writing. Lucy recognized them. She had once said she liked them, back when she was still Lucy, months ago. The nausea rose in her throat. He walked deeper into the storage unit. Lucy adjusted the phone slightly, ready to record. But his footsteps were getting too close, too fast. "You're here, aren't you?" His tone suddenly changed, deeper. "Come out. Don't mess with me." Panic surged through Lucy. She hadn't expected him to move in so quickly. She bolted out before he could spot her. Lucy ran like mad, her heart pounding, breath ragged, ears ringing with fear. She dashed across the street, almost hitting a cyclist. She ran straight home, her hands shaking too much to unlock the door. Finally, as the door shut behind her, she collapsed to the floor. Tears streamed down her face. Some time later, Mary came home. She froze when she saw her daughter lying face down on the floor, pale, breathing hard. "Lucy! Oh my God! What happened?" Lucy didn't answer. She buried her face in a pillow, her hand clutching tight. Mary shook her. "Did someone hurt you? Tell me what happened." After a moment, Lucy choked out, "Mom. I'm sorry. I'm too weak. I'm such a coward." Mary held her close, crying. "No, you're not a coward. I'll protect you no matter what. You scared me so much." Lucy said nothing. All she could see in her mind was Julian, his face as he entered the storage unit, his eyes first curious, then furious. She hadn't been brave enough. She hadn't captured any clear footage. The phone had lost signal. The plan had fallen apart. The next morning, Lucy sat on her bed, knees drawn to her chest, eyes blank. Sophie messaged her. "Sophie, didn't see you in class this morning. Are you okay?" Lucy didn't respond. She stared out the window, then turned to look at the wall covered in notes, details about the other victims. She murmured, "I can't fail." At noon, when Mary left for work, Lucy quietly crossed the street to the house opposite. The door was locked, but she knew how to open it. He had once taught her the quick unlock game. She broke in, carrying the white USB stick. Objective: retrieve direct evidence from his devices. In his bedroom, she saw a black laptop fingerprint locked. She couldn't access it. But next to it, on the desk, was a phone plugged into the charger. Lucy plugged in a USB OTG, quickly copying the entire photo and video folder. There were dozens of files, with random names like IMG_0832, Fun Time, Princess 1, and voice recordings too. The screen displayed, copying. 1.2 GB. Her hands trembled. Every second felt like an eternity. Suddenly, the door opened. "What are you doing in here?" Julian's voice. Lucy turned around, frozen. He stood there, his face dark, suspicious eyes staring. A grocery bag in his hand. You came home early," she stammered, hiding the phone behind her back. He narrowed his eyes. "What are you doing with my phone?" "And nothing, sir. I thought it was mine." "Really?" He stepped closer. You think I'm that stupid? Lucy backed away. I found it in the hallway, thought it was Mom's. Julian snatched the phone from her and looked at the screen. The data transfer had stopped at 76%. He looked her straight in the eye. What do you know? Lucy breathed heavily, eyes locked. He sneered. Not bad. But you really think that's enough? Lucy began to tremble, then screamed, I'm not afraid of you anymore. She dashed out the door, her second escape in 2 days. Back home, she locked the door behind her and collapsed again, trembling all over. The USB was still in her pocket. Most of the data had been copied. It wasn't enough to fully convict him, but enough to start a war. She opened her laptop and sent all the files to an international child protection organization, using an anonymous email. Sender, Lucy13@protonmail.com. Subject, Evidence of Child Abuse, Offender, Julian Morgan, South Bronx. She attached the video, the photos from his phone, the conversations from A13, and wrote one final note. I'm just a kid. But I'm not staying silent anymore. The next morning, New York was still gray, like every other April day. But inside Lucy, the weather had begun to shift. She woke after a nearly sleepless night, her eyes swollen, but her gaze sharper than ever. She had sent everything that needed to be sent. But she knew, one strike wasn't enough. Julian was far too cunning to fall from just a few chat logs. She needed more. She needed images of him saying the words. She needed his voice uttering those sick phrases. Lucy reopened the voice-altering software. She adjusted the audio settings, tested different samples. Finally, she chose a slightly trembling, hesitant tone exactly like a 13-year-old girl going through puberty. Do you really love me, Uncle? She recorded herself, then stitched together his past replies, Of course I do. I love you the most. She added more clips each time he mentioned children's underwear, white nightgowns, adult games. Lucy compiled it all into a video. On screen was A13, an AI-generated girl sitting in front of a webcam, her lips syncing perfectly with the pre-recorded voice. It looked exactly like a real video call. She played it back, again and again. Uncle. I'm scared. Don't be. I'm right here. Take off your nightgown, okay? You promised to keep it secret, remember? Yes. Lucy turned off the screen and clenched her fists. You're done, Julian. That afternoon, during a fake grocery errand, Lucy rang his doorbell. Lucy, his voice came out, cautious. I'm sorry about yesterday, she said softly, her head lowered. I panicked. I thought someone was tricking you, so I got scared. He opened the door, his eyes watchful. You hurt me, you know that? Lucy looked up, giving him a weak smile. I want to make it up to you. I have a gift for you. Oh. His eyes lit up. A video call. Tonight. 10 p.m. Just us. I promise I'll be good this time. Julian smiled, like a cat licking its lips. I'll be waiting. Lucy went back home, locked the door tightly, and turned on her screen recorder. She opened the fake webcam app and queued up the AI-generated video. Everything was ready. At exactly 10 p.m., the call came through. Julian's face appeared on the screen, eyes gleaming with anticipation, his voice soft, Hello, my little princess. Lucy, through the image of A13, mimed, Uncle. You're so beautiful. What are you wearing for me tonight? Lucy sat outside the camera frame, remotely controlling every slight movement. When the pre-recorded lines were due, she hit play. I'm scared. Don't be scared. I'm right here. Just do what I tell you, okay? I took off my dress. Lucy watched him through the screen, his eyes lit up, his face twisted with depraved hunger. Are you wearing the underwear I like? White socks, lacy white dress. Lucy hit record. I won't tell anyone. Just like Anna, she was a good girl too. She moved away now. I miss her so much. Lucy's heart jolted. Anna. Again. I've played this game with lots of little girls, but you're the best girl I've ever had. Lucy shut the video down. The screen went black. Julian froze. Where did you go? A few seconds later, white letters appeared against the black background. Goodbye, Mr. Nice Guy. The next morning, Lucy sent the new audio, this time, an actual video call and all the self-incriminating evidence he'd spoken aloud to an international child abuse prevention organization. She also sent a condensed version to an anonymous whistleblower portal affiliated with the U.S. National Police. She wrote only one line. This man is hunting children in the South Bronx. I'm not the first victim. But I will be the last. The day passed in silence. No messages. No replies. No threats. Lucy started to doubt. Do they believe me? Or did he erase everything again? That evening, while eating dinner with her mother, Mary spoke up. You seem a little better lately. No more breaking stuff. Lucy gave a faint smile. I'm just tired. But I'm doing better now. Mary looked at her for a moment, then nodded. If you ever feel ready to talk, I'll be here. Lucy nodded. I know. But some things I have to do myself. Late that night, she checked her phone. No new messages. But there was a sound outside the door. Footsteps. Very light. Then the sound of paper being slipped through the crack. Lucy waited about 10 seconds, then went to the door. On the floor was a small, neatly folded piece of paper. She opened it. One line. You think the game's over? Lucy froze. Her hands trembled. He knows. He suspects. He's getting more dangerous. She took a deep breath, then taped the note to the corner of the wall, beside all the evidence she had gathered. Fine. If this is a battle of wits, I'm not losing. The next morning, Lucy walked to school with steady steps. Sophie ran up to her. Are you okay? You look like you've seen a ghost. Lucy shook her head. No. I'm fine. Anne, hey Sophie. Yeah. If anyone asks where I was Saturday night, tell them I was at your house, watching movies. Sophie blinked. Did you do something? Lucy smiled. Not something bad. Just putting justice where it belongs. That night, Lucy opened her window and looked across at Julian's apartment. The lights were off. No movement. But she knew behind those curtains, the beast could smell blood. She thought to herself, you're scared now, aren't you? Good. I want you to be scared. A Monday morning like any other in the South Bronx. The sun shone through dusty windows, casting golden light across the worn tile floor of apartment 3B. Lucy had just woken up, still tired after another restless night. She didn't expect today to be any different. She wasn't waiting for a miracle. But then, at exactly 9:17 a.m., the doorbell rang. Not hers. The doorbell of apartment 3C. Loud knocking. A firm male voice. National Police. Open the door. Lucy froze. She stood stone still in the living room, heart pounding. Another voice followed. We have a search warrant. Open immediately. From the hallway came the sounds of rushing footsteps. Julian's door flung open. Shouts. Shuffling. Lucy ran to the hallway and peeked through the cracked door. Neighbors crowded the stairwell. Mrs. Claire, Mr. Gabriel, the couple from the second floor, all whispering. What's happening? Cops are all over the building. What's going on with good old Julian? Lucy saw it clearly, 4 officers in bulletproof vests. One held Julian down, his hands cuffed behind his back. His face was ghost white, eyes wide and vacant with panic. No. I can explain, he stammered. It's a mistake. Silence, the inspector snapped, cold as ice. We have all the evidence. Don't waste our time. Lucy stepped back inside and shut the door. Her body trembled. But this time, it wasn't fear. It was a flood of emotions breaking loose. Downstairs, the police car lit up its blue siren. A female officer, around 40, with a stern face, was inspecting the evidence bags, hard drives, phones, computers brought out by the tech team from apartment 3C. There are over 20 hard drives, poorly encrypted, the technician said. They contain hundreds of hidden camera videos, images of young girls, even audio recordings he made himself. The female officer nodded. Contact the Victim Support Center immediately. Send them the list of images so they can help identify each girl. We need to find them all. Understood. Julian was shoved into the police car, his head hanging down. He said nothing more. No resistance. Just stared at the ground like a lifeless corpse. Lucy still hadn't moved from the window. She watched the police car roll out of the neighborhood. Each turn of the wheels seemed to drag away months of pain she had endured, now finally leaving her life. At 10 a.m., Sophie came banging on the door, breathless. Lucy. Have you heard? Lucy opened the door, still dazed. Uncle Julian, he got arrested. For abusing and filming children. The police said they uncovered a whole secret network. The whole neighborhood is in shock. Lucy nodded slightly, her voice strained. I know. Sophie's eyes widened. You know. Lucy took a deep breath and pulled her inside. Then she said softly, I'll tell you. But, you can't tell anyone else. No matter who. Sophie sank onto the couch, her face turning pale as she heard the whole story. I can't believe it. It was him. He always called me his little genius. Lucy nodded. Not just you. A lot of girls. He hunted us like prey. But this time, he picked the wrong one. Sophie grabbed her hand, tears rolling down her cheeks. I'm so sorry I didn't see it sooner. Lucy shook her head. It's not your fault. He hid it too well. What matters is, he's been unmasked. And this time, no one's protecting him anymore. That afternoon, the story made the noon news in the main broadcast slot. Shocking arrest in South Bronx, a 52-year-old man, once seen as a model neighbor, has been charged with the possession and distribution of hundreds of child pornography materials. Notably, the case was uncovered thanks to a chain of evidence sent anonymously to an international organization, including disturbing video call recordings. Mary, Lucy's mother, was eating lunch while staring at the screen. Julian, no way, she murmured. Lucy was in the kitchen doing the dishes, her hands freezing when she heard that name. She knew her mother still didn't fully understand. Lucy, Mary turned to her. You went to his place a few times, right? She nodded slightly. Did you ever notice anything strange? Did he ever? Lucy looked up at her mother, her eyes calm and steady. Mom, if I had noticed something, would you have believed me? Mary froze. Lucy continued, gently but clearly, if I had told you, that he wasn't as nice as you thought, would you have listened? Mary looked down. She remembered the time her daughter had mentioned the creepy way he looked at her, how she had complained about feeling unsafe, and how she had brushed it off as teenage imagination. Her voice broke. I'm sorry. Lucy stepped forward and placed a hand on her mother's shoulder. It's over now. He's exposed. Don't blame yourself. Mary pulled her daughter into a hug, tears pouring down her face. I wasn't there when you needed me. I'll never forgive myself for that. But you're here when I won, Lucy whispered. And that's enough. In the following days, police contacted families who had once lived in the apartment building. Several girls who had mysteriously disappeared were now confirmed to be former victims of Julian. They were given psychological support and placed in special treatment programs. Some girls, like Anna, were now living in Orlando with her grandmother, after her mother moved her away upon discovering signs of self-harm. The police confirmed that a secretly recorded video of Clara at age 12 was among the files Lucy had copied. The next week, at the school gate, a group of students rushed out, buzzing with talk. I heard that creep got arrested. He used to give me cookies. Gross. I never would have guessed. Sophie stood beside Lucy and glanced at her. The world is saying a lot right now. But the only one who really knows the truth, is you. Lucy nodded, looking up at the April sky. Yeah. And I don't need applause. I just need him to never hurt anyone again. 3 days after Julian's arrest, the South Bronx apartment complex felt lighter. The atmosphere had shifted. Morning greetings were more cautious, neighbors exchanged glances full of suspicion. How didn't we see it? Mrs. Clare said as she ran into Mary in the stairwell. We were living right next to a monster. Mary nodded, but didn't answer. Every time someone mentioned Julian, her stomach twisted. Not just from the horrifying truth, but from the guilt of having trusted him so blindly, having hurt her daughter because of it. As for Lucy, she didn't join in the gossip. She didn't answer nosy texts from classmates. She didn't boast, didn't seek credit, didn't need recognition. She quietly deleted the A13 account. Deleted the VoiceMod app. Deleted every recording, chat log, photo, after ensuring the full data was securely stored by the international organization. All the evidence she once carried was now in the hands of those truly responsible. There was nothing more she needed to do. One morning, Mary walked into Lucy's room and found her wiping down the wall where dozens of sticky notes had once been. Lucy was peeling each note off carefully, folding them, and placing them into a black paper bag. You're not keeping them? Mary asked softly. Lucy shook her head. No need anymore. Are you throwing them away? Lucy paused, then replied, no. I'm taking them to the park near the South Bronx station. I'll burn them. Burn them? To say goodbye, to a part of who I used to be. Mary squeezed her daughter's hand, but didn't ask more. Inside, she felt a wave of grief too complex to name. That afternoon, Lucy rode her bike to the old park, to a quiet stone corner no one passed. She opened the bag and pulled out each note she had written, usernames, chat timestamps, early suspicions, screenshots, apartment maps. All evidence of a battle she had fought alone. She lit a small fire. Each note burned bright, in silence. Lucy watched the ashes swirl in the wind, like watching her pain dissolve into the air. She didn't cry. She only felt one strange thing, peace. The next morning, when she walked into class, her homeroom teacher, Ms. Ellen, smiled at her. You look different. Lucy shrugged. Maybe I finally slept enough. Ms. Ellen nodded, then leaned in and whispered, I was called to the principal's office yesterday. They said the police are investigating something involving a neighbor near your home. You didn't have to testify, did you? Lucy shook her head. No, ma'am. I wasn't involved. A faint smile appeared on Ms. Ellen's face. All right. If you ever need anything, I'm here. You know that, right? Lucy nodded and returned to her seat. She said nothing more. But her eyes, no longer fearful now, carried a calm, sharp look. The look of someone who had survived the abyss. In the schoolyard, Sophie ran up to her. Lucy. Want to go for a walk tonight? I got new chocolate ice cream. Lucy smiled. Sure. As long as we don't eat it in your bathroom. Sophie laughed. I was thinking the living room, actually. Be careful. There might be a hidden camera, Lucy teased with a wink. Sophie shuddered. Stop that. You're giving me goosebumps. Lucy turned away, looking at the deep blue sky. It's not a joke. But I do feel lighter now. Because it's over. No. Because I didn't give up. That afternoon, during lunch break, while everyone was out eating, Lucy stayed behind in the classroom. She pulled a small black notebook from her backpack, hard-covered, with only one line written inside. You can do it alone. She added another line, her handwriting neat and steady. As long as you don't run away. The next day, she happened to pass by the security office of the apartment complex. Mr. Ryan, the elderly guard with white hair and a gravelly voice, called out. Hey Lucy. You heard the news. That bastard Julian, he's being taken to court today for the official investigation. Lucy was surprised. That fast? Yeah. Those child protection groups are pushing hard. Some of his videos already leaked privately, not public, but the authorities saw enough. He's not getting out of this. Lucy nodded. I hope the other girls will be okay. Mr. Ryan looked at her, as if something just clicked. Lucy. Yes. You're not the one who sent that data, are you? Lucy smiled, her eyes shimmering. Not really. I'm just someone who once ate his cookies. Mr. Ryan looked at her for a moment, then let out a raspy laugh. Yeah. I ate them too. And now, just thinking about it makes me sick. That night, Lucy sat on the windowsill, hugging her knees, gazing down at the quiet street. The lights in apartment 3C were off. No one stood across the hallway inviting her to play games anymore, no one spied on her in the bathroom, no more late-night messages. She didn't have to close the curtains anymore. Lucy. Mary's voice came from behind. Yes, Mom. Are you okay? I'm okay. Mary hesitated for a moment. I just want to say, if you ever want to talk, I won't interrupt. I won't say you're being too sensitive. I won't say it's nothing. I'll just listen. Lucy turned around, her eyes warm. You know what, Mom? What? I don't need to talk about it anymore. I'm keeping it for myself. Because now, I'm not that weak little girl anymore. Mary stepped forward, placing a hand on her daughter's shoulder. But you're still my daughter. Lucy nodded and smiled. That night, for the first time in many months, Lucy slept without locking her bedroom door. No nightmares, no jolts awake, no cold sweat. Just a deep sleep, steady and peaceful, like the breathing of someone who has made it through the storm. The next morning, she stood in front of the mirror. No longer the girl who pressed her lips together to hide her tears. No more panicked eyes. But a 13-year-old young woman, with a scar healed on her wrist, clear eyes, a straight back, lips gently closed, not out of fear or hatred, but with a strange and steady calm. Lucy reached out, touched the mirror, and whispered. Thank you, for not giving up. That afternoon, she sat by the window again, watching the tree branches sway in the wind. The afternoon sun filtered through the rooftops, casting long shadows on the floor. Lucy closed her eyes. For the first time since the darkness began, she felt safe. No one knew she was the one who exposed Julian. No one knew she created the trap as A13. No one knew she was the one who sent the evidence that brought down a monster. And she didn't need anyone to know. Because she had one. In silence. The lesson to be drawn from this story is: never underestimate a child's sense of unease. Predators often wear the mask of kindness, silently weaving their way into the trust of a community. Silence born from fear can destroy a young soul, but courage, even in quiet, can bring down a monster. Trust your instincts. And if no one stands with you, remember this. As long as you don't give up, you are stronger than you ever thought possible.
If you enjoyed this story, we invite you to give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Your support motivates us to keep bringing heartwarming stories almost every day. We are very grateful for your support. See you soon.